shocking moment on court has Viktorija Golubic under fire, while Alex Eala's rising career faces an unexpected psychological test. And here's where it all started to spiral. Alex Eala was on fire. She had just won 3 games in a row, building momentum, confidence buzzing through her veins. Then out of nowhere, Viktorija Golubic called for a medical timeout. Sounds normal, right? Except the timing couldn't have been worse or more suspicious. What usually takes about 90 seconds stretched to nearly 6 minutes. 6 minutes where Alex had to stand there, racket in hand, trying to shake off the frustration. The crowd murmured, some fans whispering to each other, "Is this even allowed?" Golubic wasn't done. She got into a back and forth with the umpire, questioning a line call that had already been confirmed by replay. You could feel the tension in the air, almost thick enough to cut with a racket. And just like that, a small disruption became the hottest topic of the day. Social media exploded, hashtags trending everywhere, engagement skyrocketing over 500%. Everyone was talking about it, from casual fans to analysts asking the same question. Was this tactical gamesmanship or a legitimate medical issue? What would you have done in Eala's shoes?
Meine Familie war extrem Monika Seles-Fan. Sie hat einen Balkan-Hintergrund, so wie meine Eltern auch.
But this wasn't her first rodeo. Go back to Budapest 2023. Golubic had already built a reputation for testing the limits, repeatedly questioning line calls, dragging out points, and disturbing her opponents. Fast forward to Monterrey 2024, and another medical timeout controversy cropped up. Injury concerns? Sure, but the pattern was there. The whispers of calculated disruption growing louder with every match. It's the accumulation of these moments that's raising eyebrows. WTA fans and analysts alike are asking, is this just a series of poor choices, or is Golubic playing mind games on purpose at the most critical moments? Have you ever seen a player seem so strategic, or maybe so sneaky, at the exact moment it matters most? And here's the part that really hit hard. Alex Eala's game changed immediately after the timeout. Her first serve percentage, normally strong at 71%, dropped to 53%. Unforced errors doubled. Her movement on court was hesitant and almost cautious, as if she was second-guessing every shot she made. It was not only the loss of points that mattered, it was the psychological aspect. Alex, who was only 19 and so close to a fantastic year in her career, suddenly found herself up against not only her rival, but also the fairness of the match. The mental strain of it? Huge. Her confidence, rhythm, and even her momentum were affected in such a way that it could be reflected throughout the season. It is such a moment that one stops to think, how do you go on when apparently the rules or the way they are applied are against you? For the fans present at the event, the visibility of the situation was evident. The frustration, the changes in body language, and the slight pause before every service were marks of the struggle. What had happened could not be called a minor hiccup. Rather, it was a mental war going on right in front of the spectators' eyes. The other night, one would think that nothing could heighten the tension any further, when suddenly social media went completely berserk. The video of the incident got millions of shares, and there were also endless discussions and hashtags popping up everywhere, just like a new fire spreading quickly. It seemed as if the fans were not merely watching, but were actually reacting, commenting, and analyzing every tiny bit of that 6-minute timeout. This was not just a matter for the Philippine fans, but a very personal one indeed. Alex Eala is their shining star, and they sensed every moment of that interruption. Commentary, clips, and reactions flowed through Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. It was no longer a tennis matter, it had become a national debate. People were weighing in on veteran experience versus young talent, and on respect versus tricks. Comparisons even went so far as to include discussions on basketball and boxing, thereby completely crossing the boundaries of sports. Broadcasters noticed the spike immediately. Some reported double the usual audience for tennis coverage that week. Every network, every commentator, and every fan was suddenly glued to this match. And if you're watching this thinking, I can't believe this is happening, you're not alone. Here's where it gets serious. The WTA didn't waste a moment. Usually investigations drag on for days or even weeks, but within 24 hours they launched a formal review. That's practically unheard of. The urgency alone tells you how high the stakes are. Golubic could face a fine of anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, depending on what the investigation finds. And that's not all. If the WTA concludes she intentionally disrupted Alex's game, suspension from upcoming tournaments could be on the table. Escalating penalties aren't just theoretical here. They could seriously shake up her tour schedule. This decision is bigger than one match. A firm action could set a precedent, sending a message that calculated gamesmanship won't fly. But a weak or slow response? That risks opening the floodgates. Players might feel emboldened to bend the rules whenever it suits them. The WTA's next move isn't just Golubic. It's about protecting fairness and credibility throughout the tour. And now let's put this into perspective. Viktorija Golubic is 31 and ranked around 135th. For a player in her position, every match matters. Every ranking point, every victory, and every minor slip-up can make a huge difference in earnings and sponsorship deals. A fine of $20,000 or more? That's not pocket change, especially when you consider the travel, coaching, and tournament expenses she has to cover. Missing a tournament because of a suspension could be even worse, potentially derailing months of planning and preparation. For someone in the latter stages of their career, it could tip the scales from staying competitive to slowly fading from the tour. Sponsorship opportunities are also on the line. Controversy might get attention, but brands don't want to risk without reward. A suspension or major fine could scare away deals, shrink her income, and leave her scrambling to maintain momentum. This isn't just a minor hiccup. For Golubic, the financial and career stakes are massive, and the clock is ticking. But here's the tricky part. The WTA is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Drama like this sells. Ticket sales spike, TV ratings climb, and social media buzz reaches insane levels. Every broadcaster, analyst, and fan suddenly has tennis top of mind. Yet the other side is critical. Inconsistent enforcement of rules has plagued the tour for years. Higher-ranked players often get leeway, while lower-ranked stars like Alex Eala can feel completely exposed. Fans notice, players notice, and when emerging talents see veterans exploiting gaps without consequences, it chips away at trust in the system. This incident is not just a game, it's a litmus test for the WTA. Can they enforce rules consistently, no matter a player's ranking or experience? If they fail here, they risk more than one controversy. They risk the credibility of the tour itself. And with tennis expanding in Asia, protecting fairness for rising stars is more than just ethics. It's essential for the sport's growth. And the reason for this is that it's not just one match that counts. Alex Eala is not only a player, she is a great symbol of tennis growth in Asia, which is the reason for the WTA's heavy investment in the area. The mental blows she received during that contest might influence her matches with more skilled opponents. Thus, her confidence may be affected in ways that the audience or fans won't notice immediately. Players at the top from less developed tennis countries not only have to fight for their place in the arena, but also face almost off-court trouble every day. They want to be shielded from the predatory veteran strategies that can become the cause of loss in the very crucial games. The way the WTA will treat Golubic's incident will express their position very clearly. Do they stand for justice and the nurturing of the newborn players in the long term? Or is it just business as usual? The spectators and the sponsors and the aspiring athletes are all observing the situation, and the communicated message may very well determine the next generation of stars' careers. The next thing that happens is what? If the WTA does act quickly and with determination, then Golubic could face a fine or a ban, and that would be a telling picture of the following. Sportsmanship is valued, gamesmanship has limits, and all the same rules govern each and every player. Such a measure not only guards the sport's integrity, but also communicates to the likes of Eala that they have support in the court. But a weak or delayed response could have the opposite effect. Players might feel emboldened to exploit loopholes, and credibility, especially in Asia and among emerging stars, could take a serious hit. This is a career crossroads for both athletes. Golubic's competitive viability hangs in the balance, while Eala's mental resilience will be tested. The outcome could shape how the WTA enforces rules for years to come. At its core, this incident is about the tension between veteran tactics and rising talent. Golubic's actions, intentional or not, disrupted a crucial moment in a young player's career. The WTA now faces a choice: uphold integrity or prioritize engagement and controversy. The decision will ripple far beyond this match, defining how rules are enforced, how emerging players are protected, and whether the sport truly values fairness over spectacle. For fans, analysts, and aspiring athletes, this is more than a headline. It's a defining moment for the tour. The stakes couldn't be higher. Golubic's career, Eala's confidence, and the WTA's credibility all hang in the balance. How the governing body acts now will shape the future of fairness in tennis. So what's your take on this? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe. There's way more coming your way.